do you want to talk about the peasant railgun?
Always, every day. It's my favorite thing to do in D&D. Absolutely.
Well, I got bad news for you.
Oh no.
I got bad news for you. So D&D 2024, new rules sets.
As they're calling it, yep.
Yeah. How is this going to affect our beloved peasant railgun, and can you explain what that is for people who are just tuning in?
Sure. First, we'll touch on what the peasant railgun is. If you're not familiar with it, it's a concept in D&D. Let's see if I can read this instead of just trying to tell it to you. The quote, it says, originating in an online forum discussion, it's a theoretical rules exploit around the ready action that allows players to line up thousands of commoners and turn a simple broken down ladder or a spear, probably use that instead, it's a little easier to handle, I guess, into a deadly ranged weapon that can fire faster than the speed of sound and deliver enough damage to obliterate an army of dragons.
I'll read from later on in the article because they try to give a little bit of a breakdown of the actual math here. But it says the peasants would then break down a simple ladder. They're using a ladder, but into two 10-foot wooden poles.
Just use a fucking spear.
Handing one of the poles to the peasants in the back of the line and one to the peasants at the front. In the first round of combat, the peasant at the front of the line would ready an action to throw. Every peasant behind him would then ready an action, hand the pole to the peasant in front of him. In the next round, peasants then fire off their readied actions, passing the pole 2 miles down the line. Because a round is only 6 seconds, but the line is over 2 miles long, this means the pole would accelerate to a speed of Mach 1.5, or roughly 1,200 miles an hour, using the falling object rule, which dictates how much damage an object delivers based on its speed. A single peasant railgun projectile could therefore potentially deliver around 300 d6 damage in a single shot. For context, the dragon goddess Tiamat has about 1,200 hit points, so a few good hits from a peasant railgun would be more than enough to kill even a legendary BBEG, Big Bad Evil Guy. And that's fun. And that's
fun. It's not something you'd be able to pull off more than maybe once if your DM let you, I think.
Yeah, but in terms of the physics and the rules as written, technically it's possible, right?
Technically was possible.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to tell people what the new rules state?
Yeah, so again, we're reading from the same article. It'll be linked down below.
DungeonsandDragonsFan.com. This is the one that had the breakdown.
You should just link it. It's fine. This says, why is the peasant railgun no longer possible in D&D 2024? Again, terrible name, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That says on page 19 of the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide, under the section entitled Players Exploiting the Rules, they actually allude to the often cited peasant railgun, noting that rules aren't physics. It goes on to say, the rules of the game are not meant to provide the rules of the game are meant to provide a fun game experience, not to describe the laws of physics in the worlds of D&D, let alone the real world. Don't let players argue that a bucket brigade of ordinary people can accelerate a spear to light speed by all using the ready action to pass the spear to the next person in line. The ready action facilitates heroic action. It doesn't define the physical limitations of what can happen in a 6-second combat round.
And you know what I have to say to that? Lame! I'm just saying lame.
But also, your rules are guidelines and DMs are allowed to bend them as they will. If you want to allow this to happen, you can. You can allow it at your table.
I think this is mostly just a stopgap to make sure that players can't, manipulate the action above and beyond what would normally be allowed in the game.
Sure. If a player wants to argue that rules as written, this can happen, then I as a DM can go, rules as written, sure, but rules as this is my game and the game universe, we're not going to allow that.
I feel like at the end of the day,
at the end of the day, it's a conversation between you and your players on what they want to do and what you expect out of them and what they expect out of you. If they want to do peasant railgun shenanigans, maybe let them, but do it with an understanding that this is not going to be something they can do often or to, say, kill gods without repercussions.
In the last segment, we were talking about session zeros. This is a great thing to bring up in a session zero. and explain, like, just so you know, this is something that I am enforcing, or we're not going to worry about. Like, one or the other. Make it very clear.
Questionnaire time. Do you have any plans of forming a peasant railgun? Players, what's that? That's a no.
Yeah, if they say we don't know what a peasant railgun is, beautiful. Don't worry about it.
I feel like you would only ever really use a peasant railgun in a game that's already kind of memey.
Yeah.
And not a serious game with a serious or intense story or something like that. I don't think players that are in that kind of game would try to use that.
Yeah.
So if you're already kind of doing a meme-tastic game, maybe allow it. Maybe just go, you know what? You see a line of 2,000 peasants over there forming up outside your keep.
Yes.
And the players go, oh no.
Yeah. We've got a problem.
The DM's using it against us.
You should have seen this coming. I'm very sorry. But it's true. So yeah, unfortunately, the peasant railgun has always been a little bit of a point of contention, and it looks like Wizards is just trying to make it more obvious that it is not really allowable in terms of the rules, because apparently rules aren't physics now. I mean, I guess technically rules aren't physics anyway, because we have to accept the fact that there's a lot of things in Dungeons & Dragons that are not physics-based. That's why there's, like, levitation and flying and fireballs. But, you know, sorry. Your peasant railgun dreams might have just been dashed. Thanks, Wizards.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. Thanks, Wizard Obama.